Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Sleep Mechanics and Strategy Talk series. And you're probably surprised to be seeing this video because I literally just talked about this same topic. So, this topic, again, rarity of Pokemon. And a huge shout out to Reddit user TheGhostDetective. They recently made me aware that there actually is a tool that does exactly what I was asking for. And I wanted to showcase it off and show it to you guys, talk a little bit about how this tool works, and how it can be used for showcasing the exact thing that I was trying to explain in the last video. And it's not paywalled like Rain on X's probability calculations are. There are some problems with it. It's a very simple tool, but very well designed for the difficulty, and it doesn't take forever to calculate something like Rain on does. So I just want to show it off. It's called How Many More. It's a real simple tool. They have a web page. They have a link here that just tells you how to use it. They give a full description of how they calculate everything out. And basically, what it's doing is exactly what I was looking for in the last video talking about Raynon. I still wish there was something in Raynon for this exact calculation, because there are some things that I don't think are handled perfectly, but clearly the HTML that this one is designed, or the JavaScript that is running here, just isn't designed to handle it. And the dev himself actually says, I'm not a web developer, I just know some JavaScript. So, very impressed with the tool that they created here, because it is very, very well done for what it is worth. I still wish Rayon X had some sort of thing to do this, because there are more considerations. But, like I said, great tool for determining Pokemon rarity. So, for example, if I just throw in an Ekans with Helping Speed M, I can tell it, oh, my Ekans is bold. That's plus energy minus speed. This is not the best Ekans out there. This is meh. You can tell it to evaluate for level 75 or whatever level you want to evaluate it off of. Interesting they don't have for 100, but I understand why. But anyway, you can tell it to evaluate for how many sub-skill seeds. Wow, that's interesting. This isn't popping up when I click on the... You click here and you have the drop-down menu. My capture is just not bringing that up for some reason, I'm realizing. But you can tell it 3, 1, or 0, and it will take into account that when it tells you how many Pokemon are possible, or the odds of finding a better one. And then you can tell it based off, or how many golds, or wait, oh, here's where you tell it use sub-skills or don't. This is gold sub-skills set. It doesn't really say that, if I refresh the page, it'll probably say that. Yeah, comparison level, number of guaranteed gold skills, sub-skill seeds, use them or not. There's use and there's don't use. And then you tell it if you're targeting berries, skills, or ingredients as well. So I can tell it berries. You can also tell it to target a specific ingredient list, basically, or you can tell it I don't care. You just select all that stuff, and then you select what type of Pokemon it is. Let's say Delibird, and you're looking for Help Speed M, Ingredient Finding S, Delibird. And this is what you're looking to evaluate on. And it's got 1 guaranteed gold skill. You just click calculate, and then boom, it tells you this Delibird is, the probability of finding a better one is 34.7%. Probably don't invest in that Delibird. But, you know what, if you're willing to use sub-skill seeds, then maybe it's better. Okay, no, it's actually worse. 1 and 2.42. So it's really just telling you maybe don't invest in it. Advanced, you can also tell it to Sneaky Snack or not Sneaky Snack. This is important for berry finding stats, because it'll take into account ingredient finding as a stat. Now, I personally don't think that ingredient finding matters that much, and that's, I guess, one of my problems with this calculator, is that it is hurting your berry specialist for ingredient finding stats, which I think is kind of a null point, just because the ingredients are still useful and should be considered as raw value in my mind. And once again, I understand why it's not doing that. It's just doing a very rudimentary basic computation, but it gets across the idea of Pokemon rarity. And I redid all my calculations that I did last time. This is the calculations that I did last time with Rain on X. And then these are the calculations that actually uses this tool the way that I wanted Rain on X to work. And do the same sort of calculations. And interestingly enough, it all came to the same points. Pretty much. The numbers were a little bit different. In fact, man, for ingredient Pokemon, I just feel so bad for people that are hunting all mono. because the odds of catching really good mono ingredient specialists is just tremendously rare. If you just want ingredient finding M, help speed M, the odds are looking like roughly 21% of catching one before level 100 if you don't want to invest subskill seeds, and basically a coin flip. Actually, slightly less than a coin flip if you are willing to invest seeds. So, catching the perfect mono ingredient mon really is just tremendously rare because this is the odds before level 100, which is just absurd to consider. Because, yeah, it got even worse when using this new tool versus the last tool. But yeah, there's also a helping bonus setting on here. You can tell it the exact friendship level. It doesn't really matter that much. And comparison mode is for better performance or same or better performance. So the odds of finding a Pokemon that produces more than it or the same or more. And then you can tell it to equal help speed S for helping bonus, be more, or you can make it the actual value, kind of how I evaluate things. Now, interestingly, one of the other problems that I see with it is skill strength focused Pokemon that I talked about, like why I evaluated them as I did last time. I think should be evaluated based off total strength, not necessarily off of skill procs. And this thing is obviously going to take into account just skill procs. So it hurts these guys a little bit more. The only difference between these ones up here and these ones down here is how I evaluate help bonus. So here it's less rare because it's also Berry Fighting S is very powerful for total strength production as well. So that's why these guys actually get more rare between the tools. But overall, I think it's a very good tool. Points very similar conclusions to my Random X video. If you're more interested in learning about that, I'll link that video in the description because honestly, the conclusions all come to be the same thing. I just was using a tool that wasn't really designed for it necessarily, or designed to do what I was trying to get to do, and I was trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, and I kind of actually did it, and I proved the right point. But there was a better tool for it that I wasn't unaware of it. I actually had heard of this before, but I kind of just forgot that it existed. So I'm bringing it back and actually showing it off this time. And I used it to make a spreadsheet, my typical thing. But anyway, if you have enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. As always, I thank you guys for watching and hope that you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye now.